Hey guys, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a biblically themed game called Portals and Prophets. Portals and Prophets is a 2 to 5 player game where players are taking on the roles of, I guess, average people, and they're going back in time to try to witness some of the historical events from biblical times. So we're going to play over a certain number of centuries. It goes from Genesis to the New Testament. I think there's like 12, 14 time periods or something like that. And you're trying to be in the right place in the right century to witness some of these miraculous events. You're going to do that by moving your pawn around, getting into some of these portals to be able to move through the map, move through Israel easier, and you're also trying to get fuel into your time machine to make it so you can travel to different centuries than the one that you're in. Because each round is going to move one, but sometimes you want to be in different ones. That's how the game plays, and let's go down to the table and see just how fun that is. Alright, so here's a game of Portals and Prophets set up for 2 players. To set up, you're going to give each player 2 pawns of their color. So in this game, I'm using white and blue. We'll leave this off for now because that technically isn't on there yet. This will be blue, this player will be white. You're going to put one of each pawns on the start space. You're going to put the water droplet marker to be used to track the fuel. You're going to put this hex marker on the G for Genesis. You're going to put the 3 portals in the recommended spaces, or the first game spaces are Beersheba, Shiloh, and Sea of Galilee. But you can put them anywhere you want as long as they're 3 spaces apart. You'll put the New Testament cards in the New Testament space, the Old Testament cards here, flip over 5, and you're going to deal each player 3 Genesis cards. And then, starting with first player and going around, you can put your pawn anywhere that you want to. So let me see where I would like to be. Hebron, Jerusalem, Bethlehem. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Jerusalem for me, and then this player is going to go to Babylonia because they have 2 Babylonia cards. So they're playing out up here. All right. So what you're trying to do in this game is you're trying to score the most points, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to visit all the different areas in Israel in certain time periods. So in this game, it's a historical biblical themed game, but there's some time travel. So you can go in a time machine and you can visit different periods of time, or you can just wait till the clock ticks down naturally to get to the New Testament. So we're starting out at Genesis. We're going to be going through the 15th century all the way to the New Testament. The trick here is you can only play certain cards when it's the correct century. So right now we all have Genesis cards, and the time mark, or the century marker, is on Genesis. So we could play any of these cards for points as long as we're in those cities in this round. If it gets out of this round, it's going to go to the 15th, and we have to use the time machine to use those cards, and I'll explain that when we get to that. So, alright. So let's go ahead and start playing. I'm going to play with my cards face up just so everybody can kind of see what's going on here. And then I'll explain a little bit about the cards when we're playing them. Alright, so on your turn you have 4 actions, and there are 3 things you can do. You can draw 2 cards from the Old Testament space or the New Testament. I think it's 2 cards. Let me make sure. I just had that out. I just looked at it, but I can never remember this stuff. I'm awful at remembering things. Draw 1 card. So drawing 1 card is an action. So you can draw from New Testament or any of the Old Testament. That's 1 action. You can travel a space. That's an action. Or you can play a card when you're in the right space in the correct century, and that's an action. So you get to do 4 of those things. You can also do some bonus actions, which are playing cards for fuel, which I'll explain when I do that. And using your portal, this is once per game, is a bonus action. And you can also discard cards if you're trying to get new ones. That's a bonus action. So the way the game ends is you want to have 3 New Testament cards played out in front of you, and then you'll finish that round, and then whoever has the most points will win. There's some in-game scoring that we'll do here, and then I won't go into that a bunch. Just know when I play my first card, I'll talk about it, and know that these symbols are going to give you like a set collection bonus. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So blue is first. So what they're going to do for one of their actions is they're going to go ahead and play their Jerusalem card. So let's look at a card. So the Jerusalem card can be played during Genesis. We're in Genesis. It's going to be worth 2 points, which is down here. It could be used for 2 fuel, which are those spaces right there, and they're also shown down here. And it's also going to be worth these three icons at the end of the game. But right now I'm just playing it as a card because I'm in the right city in the right time frame and I want to get 2 points. So that's one action. The next action I can do is, where am I? I'm in Jerusalem. What's the next time? It's 15. So I'm going to go ahead and take... Actually, I'm going to move 2. So 2, 3 to Hebron. So for my fourth action, I'm going to play the Hebron card. Same rules. I'm in Genesis. I'm in the right city. And now I get 4 points. So I now have 6 points total. And that is my turn. So I am done. And now it will be the white player's turn. So white player, same thing. They're in Babylonia. So for the first 2 actions, they're going to play their Babylonia cards. Because they have 2 Babylonia cards. So the first one they're going to play is this one. Abraham and Sarah leave Ur. So let me go over one more thing on this card. This is a biblical theme game. So if you look on the bottom of each card, there's a Bible verse. Kind of references the point in time that this is talking about. So in Genesis, this action happened, and this is the verse that's in reference to that. So if you want to learn the Bible while you're playing, you can look at that. If you don't want to, you just want to play the game, you can ignore that and just play the game as if that wasn't on there. So they're going to play the Babylonia card. Abraham and Sarah leave Ur. And I'm in Babylonia. I get 4 points. For my second action, I'm going to play the next Babylonia card, the Fall of Man. I'm in the right town, or the right location. I get 3 more points. And now I'm going to go 3 to move here. And then for my fourth one, I'm going to move to another portal. Portals are 1 movement to move from between any of them. So that's what I did. I moved down to Beersheba and I'm done. Now the end of the round, this moves to the 15th century. So now we can play 15th century cards. We'll go to blue. Let's see here. So I am going to take a card. I'm going to take this one, Jezreel. That's 1 action. Refill it. I'm going to take this one. That's 2 actions. And let's see here. For my next action, I want to move 1, 2. I'm just going to move 2 to try to get closer to where I need to go. And I'm done. Actually, before I'm done, I'm going to play some fuel cards. So I want to play these 3 fuel cards. So you can look at both of these cards. They each have 3 droplets of fuel. This one has 2 droplets. This one has 1 droplet. You can only play 1 card with 2 droplets on a turn. So I'm going to play these 3 fuel cards. I'm going to move the droplet to 3. Now, let me explain what, then these are discarded. So let me explain what that means a little bit. So now what this means is, because we have fuel of 3, we can play cards either plus or minus 3 centuries back. So on each turn, on this turn, we can play 14th, 13th, or 12th, or Genesis cards, because we can't go back any farther than that. This will stay at 3 until someone makes it full. Full means you can play any card you want, as long as you're in the right location, and then once at the end of that turn it's on full, it goes back down to low. So we're at 3 right now, so that's going to benefit both players to be able to play cards. So blue is done. Now we're going to go to white. I have a Jerusalem card, which gives me 2 fuel. Let's see here. We can play 14, 13, 12. So I'm going to take this card as an action. At the end of the game, you get bonuses if you can visit all 5 of the different regions. And if you can, if you only have 4 and you have this card, this will count as a 5th region. So I'm going to keep that one. So that's 1 action. And there's a hand limit of 7. Alright, so I got Jerusalem, a couple Jerusalems, 3 Jerusalem cards. Alright, let's see here. So I'm actually going to move 1, 2 to Hebron. I'm going to move one more to Bethlehem, and that's my 4 actions. I'm done. Alright, so now we're moving to 14. So now we can still play Genesis, and we can play 13, 12, 11, and 14. So we can play from Genesis down to 11. Alright, so it's blue player's turn. They're trying to get to Jezreel to play this card. Do this to 12th century so they can play that. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're in Jezreel and now they're done. So they're just going to hang out there and wait for the next turn. It's white player's turn. I'm going to move to Jerusalem for 1. I'm going to play this Jerusalem card because it has to be played in Genesis, but we can reach Genesis with the time machine. So I'll play this. And I get 2 points. So that's 2 actions. I will also take... You want to take this Jerusalem card and this Jerusalem card. Nope. And this Jerusalem card. That's 4 actions and I'm done. And now it is blue player's turn. We'll drop this down. We're still at 3, so we can play Genesis through 10th. And let's see. So I'm in Jezreel now, so I'm going to play this card. This is 12th. I can play 12. So I'm going to play Jezreel. That is Gideon and his 300 men. So I get to move 5 points. So I'm at 11. That's 1 action. Let's see. I want to take this card. This is going to let all of my battle symbols be worth 2 extra, and I just played a battle symbol. So now I'm going to get some extra points. So that's going to be in my hand. That's 2 actions. Let's see. I'm going to take the Jordan River card for 3. And then I want to move over to Jordan River for 4. And I am done. Alright. So I'm done. Now it's white player's turn. They're in Jerusalem. They have a couple of Jerusalem cards. They're going to take this card for the 2 fuel. So they're going to play the 2 fuel to move this up to full. So now they're going to be able to play any card that they want. So they're in Jerusalem. So they're going to play these 2 cards from 7th century and 8th century. Doesn't matter because they're full power. So they're going to play these extra Jerusalem cards and they're going to get 11 points for that. So they're going to go up to 20. So that's 3 actions. They drew and they played 2 cards. Can they play anything else? And they'll draw this one for 4 for their 4th action. No, I need to spread some love around, so I'm going to grab this one. Tenma, 11th century. So that's coming up. And then I'm done. Flip a new card. I'm going to go into the 12th century, and because I filled it all the way full, now we're back down to low. So we have to play 12th century cards or fill up the fuel meter. All right. So I'm in 9th century. That's what a card I have is 9th century. There aren't any 11th century cards. But I'm close to Shiloh. So I'm going to take this. Oh, that's Shechem. Where's Shechem? It's 2 away from me. So I'm going to take Shechem because it's 10th century. So I'll be able to play that here soon. So that's 1 action. Hills of Ephraim. Kind of close to that. So I'll take that too because that's 10th century. That's 2 actions. Assyria, not close to that. So for the next action, I'm going to move to Shechem. That's 4 actions and I'm done. Alright, back to white. I need to be in Tenma. I don't have any fuel. I do have fuel, but I don't want to use the fuel right now. Where am I? I'm down here. I'm going to take this Hebron card for 10 for the 10th century. Then I'm going to... That's 1 action. I'm going to also take this 8th... No, that's way far away. I'll take another Jerusalem. Nope, that has no symbols. Come on. I'm going to take 2 off the top. So I got Babylonia again. And I have Valley of Avalon. or a Gylon. So that's 3 actions. And I'm going to move to Tinma over here. So there's 4. All right. So now we are moving down to the 11th century. So now we can only play 11th century cards because the fuel is empty. Let's see here. So I'm going to draw 1 card. I got 2 fuel, so I'm going to go ahead and play that 2 fuel. So that's 1 action. That doesn't count. So I have some 10th century cards that I can play now. 10th and 9th I can play, and 12th and 13th. So I'm at Shechem, so I'm going to go ahead and play this card. So this is my action number 2. Play Shechem. It gives me 8 points. So I'm at 19. So that's 2 actions. Now I'm going to move. I'm going to use. No, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go 1, 2. Go to the Jordan River. That's my 4 actions, and I'm done. All right, then it's white player's turn. I have some 11th cards I can play, which is good. So I'm. It's 11th century, but I can actually play 13 to 9. So I'm going to play Tinma because I'm in there. So I'm going to play that. I get 6 points. And then I have a couple more actions. Ooh, is there any fuel? Nope. I can't. But I can play 10. So I can get to Hebron. So 2, 3. I'm going to play Hebron because I can play 10th century cards. And this is a 10th century card. So I'm going to play Hebron. I get 7 points. So I'm at 33. And then I am done. That is my 4 actions. Then we're going down to 10. So we can still do 8th to 12th. And let's see here. So it's blue player's turn. I can play 10, 9. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to play some cards. So I can play the 9th century card because fuel. So I'm playing the Jordan River. Because that's where I am. So I get 5 points. And then Hills of Ephraim. So I'm going to go ahead and use my portal. So this portal is used once per game. Without being on a portal, you can actually move anywhere you want. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to move. So my second action is moving to Hills of Ephraim. I'm going to play this card because I can play it in the 10th, and it is the 10th century, but we have 2 fuel. So I'm going to play that card for 3 points. So that's 3 actions. And then, let's see. Where am I? I'm in purple. I'm going to draw a card for my 4th one. I'm going to draw a New Testament card. So I have Jerusalem. When we get to the New Testament, I need to be in Jerusalem. That's my 4th action. All right, now we're moving to white. One more rule: your pawns can't be in the same place. So this white pawn could not be in Hills of Ephraim until that one moves. Just a side rule. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to. Where am I? Hebron. Is there anything good over here? Assyria. Where's that? It's up at the top. Jerusalem. 5th century. We can't play that yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Discard this for fuel. For 2 fuel. So this is now full. So at the end of my turn, it's going to reset. I'm going to take Jerusalem. Has 1 action. 2, 3. Then this is a 5th century card. I can play anything that I want. So I'm going to play this Jerusalem card. And I'm going to score 8 points. So 41. And that is my 4th action. I am done. Alright, so back down to low. We're on 9th century. Let's see here. I need to pump up some fuel in this. I'm going to draw this one for 1. I'm going to see what else comes out. I'm going to play this for 2 fuel. That's only 1 action because I just drew 1 card. I'm going to draw 2 more off the top. And I have 1 action left. So I'm going to move to Shiloh and hang out there, and I'm done. Then it's white player's turn. I'm going to, so we can both move to 7 or to, we can play 11th through 7th century cards. Let's see here. I'm in brown. I don't want to be in brown. So I'm actually going to... I need some fuel. I need a fuel card. One fuel card. Come on, fuel card. No fuel card, but that can work. So that's one action. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and play my portal. So I'm going to travel to Sebast for 2 actions. Since it's Ninth Century, I can play Sebast. Or Sabaste, however you say it. And it's going to give me 5 points. So I got 46. And that was 4 actions, so I'm done. So I drew a card, I moved 2, and then, yeah. Alright, that was 1 movement. So I have 1 more action, I think. I might have taken too many actions, that's fine. It's okay. Now I'm going to draw another card. So I got Mount Gilboa. Alright, so now we're moving on to 8th century. And then it's blue player's turn. They are going to Bethel, so they're going to move 1 to Bethel. They're going to play this 9th century Bethel card because they can play 9th, 10th, 7th, 6th, and 8th. So they're going to play this one. So I give them 5 points. So that's 2 actions. Let's see. Where else are they? Tekoa. I need to move, so I'm going to go ahead and go 1 to Jerusalem. That's 3. I'm going to go 4 to Bethlehem, and I'm done. Alright, now it's white player's turn. I'm going to move 1, 2 to Mount Gilboa. But nope, just taking that back. I can't play that card because it's 11th century and I can only go to 10th. There aren't any other fuel cards out there. But there's 9th and Jezreel. Okay, I'm going to take this card for 1. So I'm going to take this Jezreel card for 1. Then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 to Jezreel. And that's the end of my turn. I am done. Alright, now we're moving on to 7th. We can play 9th to 5th right now because we're fuel still at 2. So it's blue player's turn. And then let's see what do they want to do. So they can play 9th Tekoa. But they can't play New Testament yet. So they're going to go ahead and move 1. They're going to play this Tekoa card because they can play 9th century because there's 2 fuel. So they're going to play Tekoa. They get 6 points. 38. That's 2 actions. Any other thing good so they can? So they're going to draw a card. They're going to draw a New Testament card. So Asia Minor is where they need to go, which they're pretty close to. Nope, that's up in the blue. Dang it. So then they'll draw another one. Oh, they can't draw that. They're done. That's 4 actions. So they're done. Now they're going back to white. We're on the 7th century. We're playing in Jezreel. So we're going to play this Jezreel card because we can play up to 9th century because of the 2 fuel. So we're going to play Jezreel for 4. So then I'm taking the 50. That's 1 action. We're going to move. Where's Mount Gilboa? That's 1 away. I can't play to 11. I want to draw a card. That's 2. I'm going to use 2 fuel. So this is now full. And I'm going to move 1. That's my 3rd action. I want to play Mount Gilboa for 11. I can play anywhere that I want. So this is going there. I get 3 points. And that was my 4th action. And I am done. Moving on to 6. Blue player. I'm trying to play till I can get a New Testament card out. And then I'll wrap it up. So blue. Let's see here. Blue. They need to be in Jerusalem in the New Testament, but they need some fuel real bad. So they're going to take this, discard it for 1, so that's 1 action. Now they can play 5th. They're going to take another one, discard this for 2, that's 3. That's going to let them play New Testament, so that's 2 actions. So they're going to go 1, 2 to Jerusalem, and they are done. Alright, and then it's white player's turn. We have fuel of 3. So we can play anything that we want. So I'm going to move 1, 2, 3 to Babylonia. For my 4th action, I want to play this 6th century Babylonia card. And that's going to give me 2 points. And I'm done. Moving on to the 5th century. Still have 3 boosts. So we can play New Testament all the way back to 8th. And it's blue player's turn. So they're going to finally play a New Testament card. They have a New Testament Jerusalem. They're going to play that. And that's going to give them 5 points. And what else do they have? They have Asia Minor, but they've already used the portal. Let's draw another New Testament. So there's 2. There's another Asia Minor. 3. Joppa. So they're going to go ahead and for their 4th action, they're going to move over to Tinma. Alright, done. Then it's white player's turn. They only have 1 card, and it's a region card, so they need to get some cards. They're going to draw 2 New Testament cards. Nazareth. They have 2 actions they need to get to Nazareth. So they're going to go ahead and move 1, 2 to Jezreel, and they're done. Alright, so now we are officially on New Testament, and we can play all the way back to the 7th. Alright, let's see here. So I'm going to move 1, 2 to Joppa. I'm going to play this Joppa card for my 3rd action. It's going to give blue 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for my 4th action, I'm going to start moving up to the top. And we're going to stay at New Testament for the rest of the game until somebody plays 3 cards. Alright, so great white player is going to move to Nazareth. They're going to play this Nazareth New Testament card. And that will give them 5 points. So 60. So that's 3 actions. And they're going to draw another New Testament card for their 4, and they are done. So Sea of Galilee, that works pretty well. Alright, back to blue. Blue needs to get to Asia Minor. So 1, 2, 3. And now they're going to play their 3rd New Testament card, which is Paul nearly stoned to death. It's going to give them 7 points. And that's 54. And that is going to end the game, but this player still gets 1 more turn. So let's see. We're going to get to Sea of Galilee. So 1, 2, 3. And I can play this New Testament Sea of Galilee card for 4 points. So I'll get 4 points. And that's the end of the game. Alright, so now for the end of the game, we're going to do some in-game scoring. We're going to score points for all, well, we already got points for our cards. So we're done with that. We're going to score points for region. So you're trying to get a set of 5 different colors for the region of all the cards that you played. If you didn't play the card, it can just go away because it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. Nope, not that one. Alright, so these cards can go away because they didn't get played. Oh, no, they did get played. That was the white player. Alright, so these cards got played. Alright, so now we're going to sort these out into colors. So I need blue, green, brown, purple, yellow. Alright, so there's 1 set for white. Blue, green, brown. And I don't have another set. So I only get 1 set even though I have that card. So I have 1 set of cards. So 1 set is worth 10 points. So we will give white 10 points. So I have 74. Then this player has blue, brown, green, yellow, purple. They only have 1 set as well. So they're going to get 10 points. So they're going on to 64. All right. Next, we're going to score symbols. So we're going to start with the top of the board here, and then we're going to see who has the most ancients. And whoever has the most gets 7 points. If there's a tie, everybody gets 7. So we're going to go with ancient, which looks like a little scroll, which is that symbol right there. That's what we're looking for. So this player has 1. They have 2. And this player has, get rid of this, I don't need it. Let's see how many this player has. 1, 2, 3. So they get it. So white player gets a 7. 81. All right. Then we'll do the royalty. White player. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 royalty cards. And this player has 1, 2. So white player gets 7 more. 88. Then we'll move on to God Speaks, which is a little cloud with words coming out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for white. 1 for blue. So white gets that again for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're moving on to Miracle, which is like the Red Sea parting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for white. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 for blue. So both of them, both players will get 7 points. So we will do 71. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, then we'll do battle. This player gets, blue gets two extra points for every battle card, battle symbol that they have. So they have 1, 2, 3. They have 3 battle symbols, so they get 6 points. How many do they have? 1, 2. They only have 2, so blue gets 7 points for that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now we will do mount. 1, 2. 2 for blue. 1, 2. 2 for white, so each of them gets 7. All right, and that is the end of the game. So white wins with 109, and blue has 91. And that's how you play Portals and Profits. Let's go to the top, see what we think about it. All right, so that was Portals and Profits. First off, I wanted to do this game. I reached out to the publisher because I like doing biblically themed games. I cannot say that word, I struggle with it. Because I'm a Christian, my co-host Joel is a Christian, and it's nice to see biblical games that aren't like Bibleopoly or Bible Trivia. Actual hobby games that have a biblical theme that are actually fun to play. So whenever I see one of those, I want to get it. I want to put it on the channel. I want to highlight it to keep more publishers, more designers in the habit, or get them wanting to publish these types of games for people like me and Joel. So that being said, this game, even if you take out the biblical theme of it, it's a pretty fun little game. It's essentially you're moving your little guy, your pawn around on the board, and you're trying to get in certain locations to manipulate the time meter so you can play cards to score points. It's really easy. It's really light. It's pretty fun. There's actually some strategy to it because you can't just willy-nilly take cards. You want to make sure that, well, the 12th century is coming up. There's no fuel in the time machine. I don't have any fuel cards, so even though it's the 13th century, I may want to take some cards that are 10th century and start jockeying to get myself in a position where I can play a couple cards in the 10th century. Or you can try to get a bunch of fuel cards and get New Testament cards, and hopefully you can get in a position where you can just play New Testament in the Genesis area or era. That would be best case scenario. So yeah, this is nice. All the cards, going back to the biblical theme, all the cards have Bible verses on them. So if you want to learn more about the Bible verse that corresponds to this miracle or this scene or this historical event, you can read about it. The artwork is not fantastic, but it gets the job done, and it is nice. It didn't bother my eyes. I enjoyed looking at it. It just wasn't like, the best artwork ever. So if you like biblical themed games, you like games that are easy to teach but fun to play and have quite a bit of strategy for as easy as they are, then I would recommend Portals and Profits. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this. No cons. I enjoyed everything about this game, and I can't wait to play it again. So I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and keep gaming.